Welcome back, good fellas, and we're back with another episode of Ask Tony Tuesday.
If you haven't got a clue, Tony's got the answer for you.
I did want to remind you guys that you can still send in questions for us. So if you're unsure about anything within our business, let us know and we will feature it in an episode of Ask Tony Tuesday. And we'll make Tony answer the question for you.
I will answer.
How are you today, Tony?
I'm doing okay. Yourself?
I'm pretty good.
Good.
You ready for your first question of the day?
I'm ready.
Alrighty. First question. How do they cut stone from the mountains?
Depends on the stone. Marble is usually cut with they drill holes and they use a wire saw. It's basically it's a long wire and it has diamond abrasives on it and springs. So it's diamond abrasive spring, almost like beads, but it's really long. So what they do is they run it through the holes that are drilled and it saws the block away from the mountain. Then they put it's like an airbag that goes inside between where they cut and the mountain, and they expand it and it pushes the block away.
That's really cool.
And then they usually use another machine to kind of pull the block away as well. But it's important that before they pull the block away, they put a big pile of rubble down at the bottom. So when that block falls, it falls on the rubble and stays together. So it doesn't crack into a bunch of small pieces. Granite's a little bit different. Granite, they drill holes and they kind of blast it away because it's a much denser, harder stone. So they'll blast it away. And then from there it goes, the blocks are giant blocks. They usually cut them into smaller blocks, put them on a truck, and they actually zigzag down the mountain, because if they came straight down the mountain, they probably wouldn't stop, because it's about, 120 tons of stone in one giant block. So, the whole block that they're bringing down is 120, but the original block is. So it's probably a good 10, 20 tons. So they never stop the vehicle. So they kind of zigzag down. And it's supposedly the highest paid job in the quarry, because they lose a lot of guys.
Really?
Yeah, because it's hard to stop a truck with that much weight on it.
Yeah.
So then it goes to a sawing facility. And, it's probably, it's usually a big gang saw with about 40 to 50 blades. And they cut this block. It just goes back and forth like this. And it cuts the block into slabs. And from there they polish it. They polish a face, or they hone it, or they leather it. And then they put it in a container. And it becomes to us, and we make it somebody's countertop.
That's wild. So when they're cutting it out of the mountain itself, they don't use like a blade at all or anything like that?
A lot of times in the marble quarries, like there's a marble quarry in Vermont, a lot of the Italian marble quarries, it's actually underground.
That's really
It's underground, yeah. So what they do, it's almost like a big chainsaw. And because it's underground, some of them are like a mile, 2 miles underground. And you go in there, and can you imagine you're working and you're surrounded by marble on top of you, on the side of you? Just think about that thing collapsing and you're finished.
Yeah, that's scary.
So you drive in, and they have these big machines. It's almost like a giant chainsaw. But again, it has these diamond abrasive chains on it. And it basically cuts like a chainsaw through the marble. But, today, what used to take it used to take a week to cut a block. They could cut a block into full slabs in like 10 hours now.
Wow.
So the technology today, has gotten so far advanced than it was before, because stone has become so popular.
So kind of off topic a little bit, not
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
but is it dark?
Is it dark
underground when they're cutting?
Oh yeah, well they have all these different lights and everything.
Okay.
And it's all wet, because when you're cutting marble or anything, if you didn't make everything wet, you have a ton of dust. So the wet is to keep the diamonds cool, and also to keep the dust down. Yeah, there's a lot of, if you go on YouTube, there's a lot of videos of them mining marble and stuff. It's really awesome.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check it out, because I never would have thought that airbags and the diamond abrasive.
It's weird. Sometimes these guys are brazen enough to get, if the airbag doesn't push it all the way, these guys will crawl down and use their feet to try to push the block over.
That's...
But I bet you more than probably at least more than a dozen times that block went like this and came back and smashed somebody.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it.
No, that is
So-
one way to have something bad happen.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
Yeah,
would
I'm
not
sure
be
there's
wanting
a lot
to do
of,
that.
A lot
at
of
all.
things that happen. You know, a lot of things. You know, especially in India and Brazil, there's a lot of things that they do that you'd never get away with doing in the United
In
States.
the U.S., yeah. Well, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's really is amazing to watch. And like you said, there's a ton of YouTube videos, and I tell you, when you think about where natural stone comes from and the journey it takes to become your countertops, I don't know why anybody would do anything else.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah. I know. Well, I'm not a homeowner yet.
Mhm.
Obviously, I'm not. But when I do get a home one day, I know I'm gonna go with granite.
Yeah,
Or quartzite.
Yeah.
I do really like quartzite.
Yeah, the
too.
quartzites are, I mean, because they have the look of a marble, but it's much denser. It doesn't etch, and it's a great stone because you have that marble look, but the denseness of a granite. So that's why. It's also why they're very expensive.
Yes.
You know, they're very expensive because they look exotic. They look like marble, which everybody loves, and they're durable.
Which brings us into our next question.
Okay,
Is quartzite a durable material?
there you go. Look, I almost answered it already.
I know.
Quartzite is a very durable material. The problem is today, a lot of marbles, like a Brown Fantasy, is actually from India, is actually a marble, but it's usually sold as a quartzite from the quarry to the wholesaler to us, and then the fabricators sell it then as a quartzite because they bought it as a quartzite. A lot of the Brazilian marbles, the white Brazilian marble, like a Shadow Storm, elegant white, harder than your normal marble, which is why, again, they sell it as a quartzite, and we sell it as a quartzite. But a true quartzite is super, super, super dense. It's actually denser than granite is, and that's why you get such a nice mirror polish on it. The harder the stone, the better the polish you get on it. And a true quartzite won't etch. The ones that are sold as quartzite but are actually a marble, because marble is basically, it starts off as limestone, and then over millions of years of compression and heat, the stone changes from a limestone to a marble. So, but it's still not nearly as dense or hard as a quartzite or a granite. That's why the marbles will still stain and etch and all that stuff, but the quartzites and the granites don't.
Okay. So then, question.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like granite where the darker the material, the denser it is?
Usually that's still the case, yeah.
Okay.
You know, like the Taj Mahal is a light beige, like the white Makubas is a white one with some gray veinings in it. They tend to be a little bit more susceptible to staining. The darker the stone, the less susceptible to staining.
Well, there you guys have it. Thank you for answering our questions
My pleasure.
today. We will be back next week with another episode of Ask Tony Tuesday. Don't forget about our giveaway. It's still going on. We are ending the giveaway on May 4th and announcing the winners on May 6th, so stay tuned for that. And if you would like to enter, come to our office, 5353 Burnville Road, and write a raffle ticket to enter the giveaway. We will see you guys next week with another episode of Ask Tony Tuesday, and we hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. See you later. Shh.
Don't you have your piece in?
You know what she's talking about?
Communication is key.
No.